What's going on, everybody? This is JVB from the Post Game Report podcast. So let's talk about Xbox, because Xbox, Phil Spencer and Natella, I forgot his first name, they came out and made some bold statements. And they basically stated that in regards to the Xbox brand, that they are still all in, and that the Xbox brand is going to be around. They're going to take a whole new direction with the cloud computing. And not only that, but they also plan to continue making hardware, specifically consoles. So there's a chance we could see, after all of the rumors and speculation, we could see another Xbox console in the future. And then Phil Spencer came out and he made the boldest statement of them all. And this is the part that gets me about the YouTube community, right? When it comes to video games. And I can go on a rant about YouTube content creators, period, right? But when Jim Ryan came out and said, "We believe in generations," people made countless videos calling him a liar because he didn't say something that they interpreted. So because they interpreted Jim Ryan's statements in a certain way, they called him a liar. Now, calling somebody a liar is a very, very strong statement. But when you have somebody like Phil Spencer, who came out and said that PC gamers need to rebuy or buy new hardware in order to play PlayStation games, that's a lie. And he said that because he was talking about his strategy in regards to releasing games, specifically Xbox games, which, let's be fair, folks, they have yet to release an Xbox exclusive. So this whole conversation is, there's no reason for it, number one. But somebody was interviewing Phil Spencer, and so he answered some questions, and he said that with their strategy is to release games on the Xbox console and then release it on PC so everybody could have it on the same day. Now, there are some exclusives that have come out on PC only. So, the PC side, they get their fair share of, snacks thrown their way. But he made the comparison to the others, right? That's the word he used, the others, the way the others. And Phil Spencer has a way of always trying to make a strategy that has worked for decades, a strategy that has given the Xbox, Nintendo, Atari, Sega, PlayStation billions of dollars. He is always downplaying a strategy that has worked, a business model that has worked. And suddenly, it started with exclusives. Exclusives were bad. And then they went ahead and bought all these studios. Then it was, hey, we leave no one behind. If you want to play with your old-ass Xbox One controllers, you can. You could spend $500 and play non-existing exclusives with old controllers. And so, once again, here's Phil Spencer trying to twist everything around, making it seem as if PlayStation doesn't know what they're doing, and that what the business model that PlayStation is taking is a bad thing, and it's not working. He even stated that they are they have been bringing out quality games. They're the only ones bringing out quality games, which is a freaking joke. And I have it here somewhere. Let me see. Xbox boss Phil Spencer continued, "The bottom line is that we simply put out more top quality games in front of more people than other companies. Across the Xbox ecosystem, we're now reaching hundreds of millions of people every month, and our total addressable market is going to grow, while others are relatively static." So what is he smoking? Who are these hundreds of millions of people? Number one. Where are these quality of games? And how is it that the PlayStation 5, that is in high demand, that is the more popular console, it's the only console with a true next generation controller, it has the real next gen games currently out, like Ratchet and Clank, which is incredible. I'm going to talk about it in just a minute. So there's that. How is that static? Like, I don't understand where this guy's coming from, and nobody's calling him out. None of the big YouTubers who went on these rants about Jim Ryan are calling out Phil Spencer for making up a bunch of bullshit, for speaking to his audience, to his user base, as if they are a bunch of morons. That's how Microsoft treats people, as if they are a bunch of 6-year-olds and they're lying to them, telling them that Santa Claus is on his way. And nobody's calling him out. I don't see none of these people who went on tirades about Jim Ryan doing the same for Phil Spencer, or Fib Spencer as I call him. But there's a reason why. Because if you want to become popular quickly, create an Xbox-centric YouTube channel and then talk badly about the PlayStation and watch your channel grow in subscribers and in views. And at the end of the day, it's the same people subscribing to the same PlayStation haters. So if you're doing that strategy, you're going to succeed in YouTube. It's as easy as that, and the fact that they don't speak on Phil Spencer is proof. Why speak on Xbox when there's nothing going on with Xbox? When you talk about PlayStation, people are going to view and people are going to view it and be interested, and you're going to get more feedback. So here's Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart. Man, let me tell you something. When I first put on this game, I was floored. And even throughout this, and I'm cutting out cutscenes, I don't want to show any spoilers. This was in the gameplay demo. I couldn't believe that I was actually playing this, and this video here doesn't do it justice. I kept toggling between fidelity mode and performance ray tracing mode, because fidelity mode looks so freaking unbelievably detailed. And even though it's 30 frames per second, it is still fluid. So I just might complete the story at 30 frames per second and then go back and get all of my collectibles and everything like that at performance mode ray tracing. And that even in itself doesn't look bad. You still have reflections, you still have some type of video upgrade or visual upgrade, excuse me. But then you have 60 frames per second. And at 60 frames per second, this game looks so freaking smooth. This is going to be one of those games that, from a visual standpoint, is going to be difficult to defeat or to dethrone when it comes to visuals and gameplay. We've seen some really nice looking games and then they play like shit. Not this game, not Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank. Why did I say Crank? Maybe that's going to be the child of Ratchet and Rivet. But it's hard to talk about this specific game without getting into spoilers, but I'll tell you what, the story is really interesting. The voice acting is as good as ever. Insomniac, they have really put in the work in the start of this generation. Now, people have been saying, well, you know, how is it that Insomniac could come out with a game, with two games as a matter of fact, Miles Morales, right, Spider-Man, the beginning of the launch for the PlayStation 5, and then Ratchet and Clank. If you look closely, there's a lot of similarities to Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank. There's a lot of assets and techniques that are very similar. So he runs on walls. Spider-Man climbs on walls. He can swing off certain objects. Spider-Man can swing off buildings. He has fluid animations. He has he's running on walls. Well, not here. I failed miserably at that, but you get the idea. So, and plus, who knows how long this game has been in development. So, the fact that they didn't need actual real-life motion capture, they didn't need actors for that. With Miles Morales, they already had Miles Morales in this first Spider-Man game. So they had his character already in the archive. So it was a little easier for them to come out with 2 games. That's what I'm basically trying to say. And woo, what Insomniac has done with Ratchet and Clank is unbelievable. The speed of the hard drive is in full effect. The architecture, the direction Mark Cerny took in building the PlayStation 5 is on full display. The DualShock controller, if you played Astro's Playroom, you know what to expect with Ratchet and Clank because everything is there. The feel of different surfaces, the feel of the weapons, everything comes through on that DualShock controller. It's amazing. And load times are, oh my god, really quick. Not quick, fast. You will load you can close the game and then load a game from a cold start and it's going to load your game immediately. It is so fast. So Insomniac has done a great job at showcasing the true potential of the PlayStation 5. And there's more to come with the PlayStation 5. And that's what I'm saying. Like, how can Phil Spencer say that the others are stagnant and that they are the only ones bringing out high quality content to its user base? I don't get that. Like, it's crazy, man. Phil Spencer is something else. And the Xbox fanatics are even worse. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Let me know what you think of Ratchet and Clank. I'm JVB. This is another episode of the Post Game Report. Talk to you guys later.